Tune in this week. We're going to explain why it sucks to be a courteous driver. Tune in!
Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. This episode is presented by Wash. Visit the new convenient pickup and drop-off location at 21 Brilliant Avenue in Aspinwall, or click pickupwashdeliver.com and see how easy it can be to do the wash. This episode is also brought to you by One Tom Plumber. Fast, reliable, affordable, 24/7 plumbing and drain cleaning services throughout the Pittsburgh area. Save this number, 412-307-7622.
You good, Nate? We good to go. All right. Fucking let's go. Between Two Bridges, pal. You know what I hate more than anything that chaps my ass is fucking courteous drivers. People that want to direct traffic in the car from the seat of their car. I've been thinking about this all week because my driver was involved in an accident. Again, wasn't as bad as the last one, but nonetheless, still a fucking headache. And what happened was the lady stopped in front of him abruptly to let someone out because they looked like they were in a hurry. So I think it's against the law to do that in PA, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, I think you're not allowed to direct traffic from behind the wheel of a vehicle. I mean, I don't care either way. You're never going to get out of the way. It's never not your fault when you rear end somebody. But like in my life, everybody I talk to, like when there's like an accident like that, it's usually like, oh, I was merging and the car in front of me was letting someone out. No, just drive your fucking car. Mm-hmm. Do what you're supposed to do. Be an aggressive driver. Fucking, I bet you there's more accidents that happen because of courteous drivers than happen because of aggressive drivers.
Well, I think that I'm a big proponent that I think that they should increase the speed limit.
Yeah.
And ticket anybody driving in the left lane that's not actively passing somebody.
That should just be a rule either way.
Well, it is a rule.
They
need to start enforcing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think more accidents happen on a freeway because some jerk off is doing 75 and a 70 in the left lane and decided, I'm going fast enough. I'm in the fast lane.
Yeah.
I'm staying right here. Now everybody's passing them on the right.
Right.
And causing a big
if you have
mess.
a junior license, you shouldn't even be allowed in the left lane.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane. If you're over the age of 75, stay in the right lane.
What people don't understand is that the left lane is not the fast lane.
No, it's a passing lane.
It's a passing lane.
Right. Right.
If you're not passing, get over.
Right. I mean, we're very, this is one of the things that I think a lot. Like, people will be like, oh, 28's so fucking bad. Well, 28's not that bad compared to, like, when you've gone somewhere else inside the country, you're like, oh, dude, traffic here is pretty good. But at any point, it's like, dude, as soon as someone takes it upon themselves, that no good deed goes unpunished, right? So, like, this poor lady, she got rear-ended because this lady looked like she was in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
look at the whole zipper merge point debacle. All those people that are like, oh, I saw a sign that says the right lane's closed a mile and a half ahead, so I'm going to get in the left lane.
Right.
No. A mile and a half from now, we're going to merge in. And if everybody did that, the traffic would just flow right through it.
Right.
But everybody gets over, and then you have some jack off that's like, I can't believe he's passing. Don't you see we're all in line here? And then they get mad and try to block the lane, and they get all this road rage. No, you're a moron.
That's what I do. I go all the way to the merge point.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And then I take up both lanes. Because if I'm at the merge point, no one should be passing me.
Right.
So then I'll ride both lanes till it's actually a lane. That way I've set the tone.
If everybody just goes to the merge point and then it's one.
Yeah, it's always that jerkwad that wants to be the two. It's like, dude, the car in front of you just got in, so now you got to wait, dude. There's no two first.
You go behind me.
Yeah,
that's all be.
I let my one person go.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, courtesy drivers, I get it. You want to be a nice person, but it always ends poorly, If
drive your car.
Yeah, drive your car and get to where you need to get to. Worry about that. Everybody else can worry about themselves. So,
you know what else I think is hilarious? Is that we have this new law in Pennsylvania. You're not allowed to touch your phone. Right?
Oh my God.
Not allowed to touch your phone.
Yeah.
but you can fuck around on your stereo. You can eat a Big Mac. You can all these other things that are more distracting.
Send an email from a tablet. I guess. I mean, my
probably not. I think that
laptop,
device is probably still included.
Electronic device.
But like, I understand we shouldn't be texting and driving. These distracted drivers. I ride a motorcycle, dude. Like, trust me, I've dealt with my share of distracted drivers. But how are we banning touching your phone? But then how often do you see, dude, I saw somebody putting makeup on in the ear, reading a fucking newspaper. Like, what are we doing here?
I do think that it goes back to my theory about the test taking, that if you, because I can text and drive. I'm phenomenal at it. You know, I always have been good at it. Even when it was T9, I mean, I'm good. I think that I should be allowed to go take my driver's test while texting. And if I pass,
you're good.
Then you get the endorsement on your license. This dude's allowed to text and drive.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are terrible at it.
Yeah. I do the don't look at it move. I do the swipe to text thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you do that.
Then you just send out erroneous shit.
Yeah, but then I get to where I'm going. I'm like, oh man, that's not what I said at all.
Yeah.
But I've gotten used to the voice text. It's just the thing that sucks about it is when you have somebody else in the car. I don't want a voice text. I don't want the person in the car to hear what I don't know what that text is about to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't even like being on Bluetooth on a phone call with other people in the car.
Yeah. So it turns out Grange was right for dropping me. They knew an accident was looming. They were like, we already paid that son of a bitch for one. We're not doing it again. But they designed the Ram vans that I have. They designed the front end in 4 pieces because they know they're going to get dinged up. They're commercial vans. You know?
So you can just replace one of the pieces.
Yeah, I hope. You know, but then there's like lights on in it now, and I'm like, here we go. You know, so we'll get it over to Angel soon enough. But Progressive Van, they have an online questionnaire. They ask me questions, him questions. You know, then they're like asking questions that aren't really questions, but they're prying questions. You know, like they're trying to figure out where the van's parked at night and shit. Like they're using this information for later down the road.
Oh yeah,
It has nothing to do with this accident.
To decide whether this is the last time they're paying a claim to you.
Yeah, because they're like, is the van within walking distance of you right now? And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? I'm like, dude, I'll walk like a motherfucker. Yeah, it's right next to me. I'll walk to it. They're like, all right, get your camera out and start taking pictures. I'm like, well, it's a 17-mile walk. I mean, I'm on my way.
Yeah, they want to avoid sending out an adjuster.
Yeah, probably. So, but those vehicles, man, there might be like one little metal rod that comes down that maybe got twisted. I know the hood's jacked, so that you know, and they don't like, back in the day, they like fix that shit. Now it seems like they just replace it.
Yeah, especially with these insurance companies that are requiring them to use aftermarket parts. You can just buy some cheap freaking China hood and slap it on and throw a coat of paint on it. It'll be the first thing to rust. Yeah,
I saw a thing, which sucks too, because the hoods always rust because they get dinged up with the chips. But I saw a company, they're coming out with like a base truck, like 24,000, all electric. I want to say it's like Steel, STE, whatever the brand is. But
I saw this.
But they don't paint their vehicles. They're all wrapped. The Keller options are all wrap. And I'm like, that's pretty slick, you know, because painting a car can't be cheap. You know, your vinyl graphic is a fixed cost.
Right. You don't have to worry about finishing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's clear and buffing it out and imperfections and just throwing some vinyl on it.
Yeah, and you do some treatment to the metal underneath, it doesn't rust, and you're good forever. Because the metal that they use to make cars is not the best. It's because the paint they put on it makes it better. So, I don't know. Ford could make a way to fucking make a plastic car rust. Dude, I have a 1995.
F-150.
What's that?
Or an aluminum F-150.
That still rusts. The frame just rusts out from underneath. I got a hot box car that's been on a shelf in my room, never even seen sun or rain, and that thing's rusted out. An F-150 Matchbox car fucking rusted out, stained my carpet. So, yeah, Ford is, I mean, I like the Ford look, you know, and I guess I fell into like the straight body Ford look back in the 90s. But nowadays, everything they make seems rust. It's like, my truck's I mean, it's old now. It's 11 years old, but the fucking thing's rusted.
11-year-old truck that's rusted out, that's a problem.
Yeah, look around when you're driving down the road. You don't see rust buckets anymore like when we were growing up. And now, but you see them, they're Fords. They're all Fords. Ford Platinums, Ford whatever. Their fender wells are all rusted out. You know, if you want to get interior plastic for your fender wells in the back, that's an upgraded Ford.
The heavy-duty trucks, GM does the same thing.
Is it? Yeah, I'm like, you already know you have a shit paint scheme. Like the guy that runs the paint booth at Ford is the worst in the business, dude.
Yeah.
But you'll see a Kia. I saw a Kia. It was like a 2004, like a 14-year-old Kia. Thing looked mint. Not a scratch on it. No rust. I'm like, that was a Ford. Ford canceled making cars because they were rusting away. They don't even make cars anymore. They make a Ford Mustang. That's it.
Yeah, the Mustang, I think, is the only Ford car.
Yeah. A lot of people got away from cars. Though.
Yeah, everybody wants an SUV. Although these crossovers are basically just cars with hot lift kits on them. Yeah,
and the fuel cost, though, fuel's going through the roof still, so you might see a push. I always thought that, like, you know, Ford, all these major manufacturers should make a basic car, you know, for your starter car. They can make them $10,000, $11,000 car. Give me the crank down windows.
It's tough to even get a used car for that kind of money now. It's not a giant piece of shit.
Yeah, because it's all about CEOs and profit margins, buddy. So I listened to one of our previous guests snuck a podcast out. Just like he had one before he was a guest on here, John Dick. And I missed it. I kind of look for that kind of stuff. But March of this year, he had the CMO on from American Eagle. And they were talking about the Livy Dunn, or not Livy Dunn. Who was the girl that was?
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, about all that. And he said that he had sat on a board, some kind of board for Netflix, not like but they talked about like how they get the shows, how a TV show like has the build up, the storyline. And then that's what he tried to recreate with having her like, and then he had Travis Kelce, and then at Christmas time they had Martha Stewart. So he kind of made his advertising campaign like a show, kind of like. I thought that was pretty slick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, American Eagle put themselves back on the planet. They were gone.
Their stock went crazy after the Sydney Sweeney stuff.
Yeah. As any business would love to have that happen. You know what I mean? Like, if you could get like a third string quarterback like Will Howard to be your star, and then he goes and gets caught in a cocaine ring at Penn State, dude, boom, let's go. I mean, no news is bad news and that kind of shit. But so, do you know anything about the Penn State coke bust?
No, just that
Pittsburgh ties.
There's some Pittsburgh ties to it, and apparently it was one of the largest coke rings in the country, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal.
A lot of Penn Staters doing cocaine up there.
Apparently.
Huh. That's why it's called Happy Valley. I didn't know coke was still that big of a thing.
Me either.
Apparently it's here to stay. So
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I run in different circles. I've never really even seen cocaine, you know?
Me either.
Like growing up in my partying days, it was like the story of Dewey Cox. They would always be like, Franny, get out of here. You don't need this shit, man. You're already wired enough.
Yeah, dude. I've heard a lot of stories of ruining people's lives. So
yeah,
I'm not really interested in that.
My thing is my dad died of a heart attack, and I knew
last
that it
thing
wasn't.
you need to do is speed up your heart.
Yeah, I knew that it was always a impactful drug on your heart. So I was like, steer clear of that. Like I used to get nervous drinking Red Bulls and vodkas. I never even fucked with Four Locos because I was like, I don't need any of that.
No.
So I need one cup of coffee in the morning to jumpstart the system.
I drink coffee all day long, dude.
Yeah. I missed it one morning, and like all morning I'm like, dude, something's off. I just feel off. And it was because I didn't have a cup of coffee. I
couldn't imagine, dude, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to have a cup of coffee.
I know. I love my coffee too in the morning, but it wasn't in the cards that morning.
I start my day every day. I get my cup of coffee, I sit down, I take my first sip, and I pop in a Zyn.
Yeah.
Can't put the Zyn in until I have the first sip of
I got to
coffee.
take it on out to put one in the morning. I usually wake up with them in, you know.
No, I can't do that. I don't do that.
So, what's the date? This will come out the 26th. We'll have 4 more working days at Flexsource when this is all said and done. But we've had the old owner has always been on board. He's like always been involved. So it was really nice. We sent out an email to all of our all our distributors. And it was really nice to talk to him because he was the point of contact. And it was cool for him to get to go out and say goodbye to all the people. You know what I mean? All the people that, you know, provided him a life for 20 years, you know. Because you never want to be the new guy that's like, hey, we're shutting down. What's your name again? So, yeah, but we're getting a lot of people are like buying like 2 years worth of duct work off of us right now. Like old just stock for themselves. Good for them. But we talked about it with Matt's episode that Aramco was our biggest customer, biggest revenue generator. They also got the letter. And we haven't heard from them, but they're a big corporation, so they can't act as fast as some of these smaller distributors. And we're getting down to like the nitty gritty and not having anything. So I could only hope that they respond and they're like, hey, we'll take 8 skids, and be like, sorry, we don't have it. Like, and even if we have 2, I might not sell it to them just because I'd rather give it to someone else for half than, because I mean, they close us down. I mean, I was talking to someone today and I said, you know, that's the problem with private equity like that. Like those big companies, you're just a number and they don't care.
Nope. Dude. They don't care at all. They can cut it. They cut their costs by, 4% and move on to them.
Yeah. And it's funny because they don't care if you eat, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's why,
so that'll be a whole new thing for you. That's going to be gone. It's going to save you some money every month.
Dude, I think what it'll do is it'll eliminate a lot of stress too, because it's like it's the control the controllables, right? So in that business, I really have no control over anything. You don't have control over the orders coming in. With a one-man shop, you don't have a ton of control over when they're going out. It's just a lot of writing checks and hoping. So I think we'll take that money and reinvest it back into the dry cleaners. Because in 3 years, Flexsource has never had to pay its employee. We've always just paid it through our payroll. Now there's been times where we'll write a check to Wash from that account. When shit hits the fan or something gets behind, but for the majority of it, all the bills were paid. Like those bills were all paid from the dry cleaners. So it'd be nice to because it's hard to look at a business and understand what's going on when you're like, okay, well, we made X and payroll was Y. Why the fuck's our payroll so high? It's like, well, 1/4 of that payroll isn't even for this company.
Right.
So, and I just, it'll be good that it's gone. I always feel like things happen for a reason, right? So.
Yeah, it'll take some stress off of you. It'll take some stress off of the dry cleaning company.
Yeah, button up some loose ends.
And give you the time
and
to be able to focus.
It'll put the onus on the dry cleaning company. There's no more because that business was cool because it would come in waves. You would get, the dry cleaners, you're never getting a check for $16,000 in the dry cleaning business. But in that business, you'd put out money and you'd have nothing. And then you'd get a check for $6,000, another check for $9,000. You could swing cash flow $30,000 in a 2-day window. That doesn't happen in my dry cleaning business.
Yeah, there's $1 here, $1 there.
Yeah. So, but we'll, we're gonna hone it in. So we're coming up on what? Going into Q4.
Yep.
No, we got a whole nother month, but October begins. Because it'll be all wound down by then.
Yeah.
Loose ends will be cleaned up. Going into Q4.
Which is a busier time for the dry cleaning company.
Absolutely.
Too, right?
Yeah, we'll pick up now the school's back in. We do some work on Pitt's campus. They're back, so that'll be good. So that campus is so big. You think Pitt, Oakland, but there's a lot of people down there, man.
Yeah.
What you got there, Nate? What the fuck's that? Just shows me. Dude had a bong in a bag.
He wishes.
Yeah, so that'll get that going. Then you get to the holidays, people start having work parties and weird shit. And you think about it this time of year, if someone unfortunately passes away, you go to the funeral home, you can wear a pair of khakis and a shirt, and people just roll in, and it's fine because it's 85 degrees out every day. But someone passes away in the end of November, generally people put a sport coat on.
Yep.
So yeah, we're just plugging. Then you're gonna get ready to. The shitteth is about to hit if the fan.
It's gonna happen all over again, man.
Yeah. Any big changes going into this year?
Well, I'm working on. We talk about software all the time. We talk about AI every week, but and they just laugh at me. What?
He doesn't even know what we're talking about.
But we talk about.
He's got that big bong that he got out of the bag. Right.
Every year I try to do things to kind of improve on the workflow. Right. Last year, we had some systems set up to try to track progress and stuff like that. They worked really well. This year, I'm trying to kind of make it a proprietary system that's going to make some automations that will allow us to keep track of what's going in, what's coming out, and automate some of the billing and things like that. So I'm working on that right now. But right now, the biggest change is just going to be internal workflow improvements. Every year we try to become more efficient, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's I see that too in my place. Like I focus in on something, and I'm like, it is so broken, but like it's been broken. It's been like that. We've been doing it that way for 8 years, you know. So you just got to pick your battles. So how's football coaching going?
It's fun, man. We're having it. I never did any real coaching before, so this is a whole new experience for me. But man, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
getting out there, especially with football, because I love football. You know what I mean? It's my favorite sport. So watching these kids learn and get the fundamentals down and hitting each other, it's just a good time.
Your first game, did you notice a difference between kids that have been doing it a long time and kids that are just starting out?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
and the thing it's challenging now, and I think it's a challenge for a lot of organizations, is that there's just not as many kids playing, right? So our team only has like 16 kids on the roster. So the unfortunate thing is with 16 kids during practices, we don't have enough kids to line up two sides of the ball. So this game was the first time that these kids have ever run a play against a live defense.
Right.
And vice versa. So it was, and part of the challenge is that the kids we were playing, that organization's been around forever.
Yeah.
So we're playing kids that have been playing for 4, 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
So it was, it got a little ugly there for a little bit, but the kids learned a ton. I'm not worried. What
was the final score?
You gonna make me say that on the air?
Yeah.
It was 54-0.
That could have got a lot worse. Kind of knowing some of the other parties involved.
Yeah, and honestly, the majority of the points were scored before halftime. I think before halftime it was like, I think they only scored 2 touchdowns in the second half. So I think we brought them in for halftime and we talked to them and tried to get them to kind of regroup. And they came out there, and in fact, I don't know what time you left.
I left at halftime. Okay,
so they came back, and during the third quarter, we actually ran a play and scored a touchdown. But it was called back because we had an illegal block at the back. And
that ref's a chooch.
Yeah, it was.
Pick it up.
Our head coach went nuts because it was kind of a borderline call. His head was in front of him.
Yeah.
But the rest of him was behind him. It was borderline.
That stage of the game, though, you got to let it go.
Yeah, dude. At that point, we were down.
Grab the kid and tell him, hey, I was borderline.
Yeah, I think we were already down so many points. It was like, dude, let these kids have a touchdown. Like, let them get some points on the board.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It's not going to change the outcome of the game here.
So I'm sure it's a lot different now. But when we played our home games at Riverside Park, we had a home crew. They like the home officiating crew. And, there were some local legends that were officials. and you'd hear, "Clump, you hold one more time, I'm gonna have to call it."
Yeah.
And it's like, especially like away from the ball fouls and stuff like that, they would get addressed and then not called, which is probably,
Yeah, for this, that's probably what should have happened. It didn't impact the play. The kid that got hit, he was the next one behind the quarterback that scored the touchdown, but he was like 7-8 yards behind, and we're talking this happened on like the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't catching him.
Yeah.
That block did not impact the play.
So was it a peel? They call it a peel back block now?
I don't know.
Crack back. You're not allowed to crack back.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
They took that. That's like why my thing for Hines Ward should be in he should be in the Hall of Fame is like, the dude changed the game. Like, you're not allowed to block like he blocked anymore. You're not allowed to go from the end zone you're scoring in to the other end zone and make a block going in that direction. And he was the best crackback blocker there ever was. I mean, he was borderline dirty as shit.
Borderline.
But he was our borderline.
Here's the thing. Like, I've heard that argument and that's why he didn't make the Hall of Fame yet. He didn't make it.
No.
Right? Yeah. So like that he was a dirty player. Hines Ward in today's NFL, sure, he was a dirty player.
Oh, in his day, he was.
In his day, that was perfectly legal play.
Right. He just took a position that was getting their asses handed to him all the time
and
flipped
gave it
the
back.
script. Yeah, and did it with a smile on his face
Every time.
So, the Tomlin in his Sunday night spiel, he said there's hunters and prey, and Hines Ward was obviously a hunter,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that bothers me when people call him a dirty player, because if you look at his plays now, if you look at his highlights, based on today's NFL rules, yeah, you can't get away
well, that's
with that
my
shit.
theory is they won't enshrine him because ESPN couldn't run any of his highlights because they don't even show those hits anymore. Like they're not included. Like they're not.
No, you can
they've,
see him on social media.
Yeah, you can see him on the internet, but like they don't broadcast that. When they used to have like he got jacked up. That was like the best segment ever, dude. There'd be people completely unconscious sitting Indian style on a field.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, there's so many players that even in just like the 2009 and 2010 Steelers, that if you suited them up and put them on the field today, they couldn't make it a whole game. They'd be ejected from the game.
I mean, James Harrison made a great turn of events. He was able to try to adapt, but like,
He
know.
could struggle. He would struggle in today's NFL. He
it's
couldn't
so
play
bad.
in today's NFL.
Especially hitting the quarterbacks.
Yeah, James Harrison, Troy Polamalu, Ryan Clark, like those guys, they were laying people out. You can't play like that anymore.
I think I think it was Tomlin actually that was asked about what team was a better defense, was the 06 or the 09.
09 or 10. I saw that.
Yeah,
too.
and he says, well, that 10 squad was out there to hurt you.
Yeah, that they were the reason for the player safety initiative.
Yeah.
They changed the rules for that team.
Right.
And now a brief word from our sponsors. You've got a full plate. Kids, meetings, workouts, side hustles. There's better things to do than laundry. Introducing Wash, laundry reimagined for the modern world. Schedule your pickup in seconds via the convenient web app. Wash picks up your clothes, cleans with care, and brings them back fresh and ready to wear. But it's more than garments. From bedding and table linens to shoes, hats, purses, and more. Wash handles all your life's fabric, leaving you more time for life. Visit pickupwashdeliver.com to see how convenient it can be to do the wash. This episode is also presented by One Tom Plumber. At One Tom Plumber, in-house licensed plumbers bring rapid response and expert solutions straight to your home or business. Whether it's an emergency or routine plumbing service, they're your one call 24/7 to clear the problem and restore comfort. Trusted across Pittsburgh and surrounding communities with transparent pricing, respectful service, and true reliability. Save this number for when you need it most. 412-307-7622. That's 412-307-7622. Or visit BetweenTwoBridgesPodcast.com/support. And now, back to the show.
Yeah, so we'll keep plugging, some fun things like tomorrow night, which is obviously this won't be relevant. They're having like an alley bash where they bring a band down to Aspinwall and they set up right pretty much behind our store. So we'll hang out down there. It'll be cool. We got a little uptick from when we had the big night out. We had a busier week after, you know. Nobody brought in the coupons we gave out, but people, you know, I think people are starting to know we're there.
Yeah.
So.
That's all right. You don't want them coupons.
And it takes a year, man. It's been a long 10 months, you know. So.
Yeah, but it's a good location. You'll be all right there.
Yeah. I'm hoping once the kids back at school now, and then, you know, people start getting back into wearing more seasonable stuff. So.
You still don't even have a sign.
We got a sign, man. Big old sign. So
you
written
got
all
one?
over the window. Now I got to work on the sign. The sign's a problem. Sarah and I, we came up with a design for the sign. We've agreed upon, and you know, and then I always get like this bug in my ass, like we're gonna do it, and then something happens. So we changed the layout of the sign. We want a blade sign that like comes off of the building. So I got to go back to the borough for that because we were gonna do a box sign. So it's, you know, I thought like I could just put it up, and then they were like, I wouldn't do that, so because then they might take it down. And
you have to get it approved.
Yeah. So the thought process was if it were to raise any red flags, because we would be the only outward facing sign on the street. So my concern is I don't know everybody down there well enough. Someone might say, well, we wanted to do a sign like that and you told us no. And then they're going to be like, well, we never told him yeah. So then, yeah. But although any publicity is good publicity, right?
It makes the paper.
Yeah.
Wash, laundry, and dry cleaning in Blana
Kid
or in
decapitated.
Yeah. Well, that would be bad news.
Yeah. So, Sarah's got a lot getting ready. Like, it's so wild to think about her because it's still August, but, you know, she's like gearing up for Christmas, you know? Like, it's because a lot of the stuff that's in our shop, she makes. Mm-hmm. So it's not like she can just order it and it's there. So, like, she's making some stuff. So, and she's putting together like these really cool paint kits that are like cement molds. And it's all over my algorithm right now on Instagram. So all I see is this is how you can retire by making these things. I'm like, sweet, I'm in. Mm-hmm. But they're like come with like 4 colors of paint. It's kind of like those things we painted at your kids painted the pumpkins at my house. So, but it's a kit. It comes with 2 paintbrushes, 4 paints.
That's cool.
The mold, and try to get those out there because we'll sell them in groups for like birthday parties or like homeroom parties at school and stuff like that. So she's doing that. She's got her plant license. She's selling plants. She's making more pots. I think we should just start selling kratom or drugs or something.
Yeah.
That really speed things up down there.
Mm-hmm.
Cocaine, maybe.
Yeah,
I hear there's a lot of people from Penn State looking for a plug.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. So I got to figure out something. We got to figure out some way to make some stupid, I keep calling it stupid fuck you money.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm in, dude. Let's sell drugs at Penn State. It's a booming business, dude.
So Amber and I went to the Pirate game and we were invited and got to sit in the president's suite.
Bob Nutting's suite.
No, his was right next door, but there wasn't even a railing. Like we could walk right over into it.
Was he there?
No. There was another minority owner there, but he was not there that day. I think he was at home doing backstrokes in his dog.
He's probably in a Southwest plane going to Vail or something.
Right. But I'm sitting there thinking, you know, when you experience things that the elite get to experience, whether it's as simple as driving an expensive car, flying first class, going and experience at a sports event at a luxury suite, when you experience those things, like they make you think like, oh, this is awesome. I want this all the time. I want to be able to do this anytime I want, but you got to have fuck you money.
Right.
And dude, I'll tell you what, that kind of stuff. I was at a couple weeks ago. We went to the Steelers night practice. It was in Latrobe at their high school. And after I met them out there, and I had the Corvette. Forget why. Doesn't matter.
You guys were going to Seven Springs.
Yeah, we're going to Seven Springs. I took the Corvette. Oh, that's because it was for Vinny's birthday. He was bringing some friends. My daughter wasn't bringing anybody because it's not her birthday. So I thought, well, we have to drive separate anyway because I have to leave early Monday morning anyway. So I'm going to take the Corvette. and she can ride with me. That'll be her little thing because she doesn't have any, she's not bringing any of her friends. So, but we had to stop. We left the night practice, heading to Seven Springs, and I'm like, well, I'm going to stop at Sheetz because I want to get a 6-pack of beer. I want to get some beer. So we stopped. I go in, and on the way in, there's this kid, probably in his 20s. He was out there with his buddy. They were smoking a cigarette. And he says something like, what do I have to do to be able to afford a car like that? And when I was walking by, he kind of caught me off guard, and I'm like, work your balls off, man. And I walked in, and I was leaving. I'm sitting in there, and I'm like, I got to give this kid something better than that. That wasn't.
Yeah.
So I was like, if he's still out there, I'm going to give him something else. So we walked back out. He's still out there. I said, I'll tell you what, bud, fuck that. I said, apply for the loan. If the bank gives you the money, fuck it. You only live once, and nothing will make you work harder than a $1,200 car payment. And I got in a car and I drove away.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, sometimes you need something. If you want it, fucking just get it. Fucking work for it.
That's good advice. I mean,
it's completely irresponsible.
Yeah, it's not sound financial advice, but it is true, you know.
When you start to experience those things, like last year we did it again for this year. I won big Pitt fan, but it was a Penn State game. But I won it in an auction where it was a suite in Beaver Stadium, and we could bring like 8 people.
Let that set in, dude. Someone paid for that, right?
Yeah.
And then donated it.
Yeah.
That's how much money they had.
Yeah. But so we went and we brought some friends, and the one friend was like, this is awesome. Like, it was the first time they had been in one of those kind of things. And I was like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, when you start to experience these things, you're like, I got to work harder because I like this.
Yeah.
You know, fly first class one time, stay at a 5-star hotel for a weekend. Right. Like, just treat yourself. And then when you get back to work on Monday, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I got to find something here.
Yeah. That's like kind of what makes us business owners, right? Because could you imagine like trying to figure it out working for someone?
Working for a corporate job when you're stuck in a cubicle all day. And
dude, and reviews are the 15th and 31st. That's it.
Yeah.
There's I don't care what you do.
Telling you like, well, you didn't meet this expectation. You did everything you needed. You came ahead of schedule, but nobody gets a 5. Yeah. So we can't give you. We're going to give you a 3% raise. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
I mean, that's the conversation we had today. Was like, and I think this is what comes with getting older and being in the game longer. Is we're gonna have a little windfall here. Before I'd be like, dude, let's go do something, or you spend the money irresponsibly. It's just how human nature works. But now we're like, let's take that money and invest it in advertising for the dry cleaners properly.
And turn this much money into this much.
Yeah,
money.
Keep it flowing,
recurring,
reoccurring revenue.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. I think anybody that says money doesn't buy happiness, go experience some of that shit, because I think you're wrong.
We talked last week about getting into the rug game, and now it's all I can think about, dude. I'm like, man, I could do 50 rugs a month is like game-changing money for that business. And then I start looking at my competitors, and I'm like, all right, here's what they do, but let's look at the bigger picture. Like, one of the bigger dry cleaners in Pittsburgh, they have a huge uniform division, right? So they're able to spend that minimal amount of advertising for their dry cleaners, no matter what happens in the dry cleaners, because that money's coming from other revenue streams. So I'm like, what could I do that's right in line with my customers? And then I remembered 20 years ago when I was in the dry cleaning business, there was a guy, Greg Colosi. He was called the $1 Million Route Pro. And he said that one day he was like, I need to bring in some more revenue that isn't conducive with me working more, right? So he went out and bought 10 rug scrubbers that you rented to people. So he sent out a letter to all of his customers and said, hey, we have these rug scrubbers. We're going to rent them. They're $99 a weekend. We'll drop them off the day of your delivery and pick them up the next delivery day. And he was like, it was a game changer, because that was able to pay for one item, like the van. You know, you start nipping off at the bills that you already, like, that's what's nice about being in business longer. And I think that's why longer you're in business, the more chances you are to succeed.
Yep.
Is because you start knowing what your nut is.
Yep.
And then you start chewing away at it. So like if he was like, man, I bought that new van, I don't know what his circumstances were, but you know, back then it was probably $300-400 a month for that van payment. He's probably like, dude, I could spend $1,000 on these rug scrubbers, rent it for $100 for a week. And if I can get 4 people to rent a rug scrubber, I'm paying for that van, you know? So then you start taking that nut down. So, and that's why we're younger in business still. Like we have a huge nut. Mortgages are a huge nut. You know, that $4,000 a month goes away. That's a big raise. That's a big, you hit a 5.
That's another employee.
Yeah, when you go into that review process after you buy
you
your
hit a
pig,
5.
you finally get a 5 after, 15 years of paying.
Yeah, for sure.
So the moral of the story is there's no get rich quick though. You know what I mean? There's no fuck you money out there that's coming fast. Podcasting is not it.
Podcasting is definitely not it. I think there are opportunities that you could hit.
With AI nowadays, yeah. Yeah, I think there's some things.
But it takes work, man. It's not something you're going to be like, oh, I worked on this thing for an evening.
Right.
And now I'm a millionaire. I mean, it's work. It's constant.
I
grind.
think the things that you see that are like instant successes, though, they have a little bit of they have a great idea, first of all. And then they have the gumption and the balls to take $50,000 and throw it at that great idea. And like, there's no shitty prototype. It's a real product packaged, and there is a ads campaign going out, and they're taking a chance. And hopefully they didn't sign up with somebody that's taking 30% or something, because that's probably out there now. There was a place locally called, they're still in business, Invention Land, and that they helped people get their inventions to market. Now with social media, I'm sure they've adapted, but they take a percentage, you know? So, you have $1 million idea, by the time it's all said and done, it's a $100,000 idea, You got to take a chance, but marketing is the biggest thing, And I like kind of wish that I wasn't wanting to be so hands-on with it, because there are companies out there that you could pay, $1,300, $1,400 a month. But, at the end of the day, that's $25,000 a year. They gotta bring in $500,000 worth of shit to make that make sense.
Yeah, and then you hire those marketing companies that are charging you $2,000 a month, and that doesn't include your ad spend. That's just their time.
Right. But one of the things that I think that has become more comforting is that some of these marketing companies aren't just marketing companies. Like, they are designed for your industry. So, those are the ones that if you're going to spend money, you don't want to just have like ClearNet Marketing do your marketing for dry cleaners. There's a company, they're listeners to the show, Cleaner Marketing, they're out of Tampa. If I were to spend the money, I would go with someone that knows the industry, That's a plug. Maybe they'll advertise.
Maybe.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot more we're, as a consumer and a business owner, there's a lot more information now.
Yeah.
You could take a 5-second issue and, it used to take weeks to figure out in fucking 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So, but October they're having, I haven't been to like any of our expos lately. Just kind of, I think what happened was when I went to all delivery, I was doing it like I knew, you know what I mean? I didn't want to hear everybody tell me, you're crazy, man, you're nuts. I wanted to just figure it out on my own. So I kind of like stepped back from all that. But in October, there's another one, and 4 out of 5 keynote speakers are going to talk about AI. So I might go to just kind of suck up what the industry's thinking, like, because I have my visions of what AI looks like in our world. And unfortunately, it's not as cool as I thought. Like, there's not going to be robots pressing pants.
There will be eventually, but
there will be. But like, I think that the problem in Pittsburgh's market is our sheer volume's not there to make the capital investment. And that's one of the things that, like, the one expo that I would go to in October is like East Coast. So it's more relatable than like some of these other towns, some of these other metropolitan cities. Like DC is like a different beast, man. Like if you have dry cleaners in DC and you're not doing $1 million, you're not doing something right.
Yeah.
Like you might as well close. Cause like there's so much, like half of the population of DC goes to work in a suit and tie.
Yeah.
That's not the way it is in Pittsburgh. Go downtown right now, you know.
Yeah, nobody's like it.
Yeah, I see someone, like if I'm getting gas at Gitco in Fox Chapel and I see someone walk in a suit and tie, I immediately reach in my pocket and grab a business card. I'm like, you look good, man. Like, I know you're probably not looking for a dry cleaner right now. I just want to let you know. Like, because society around here, we don't get dressed up like that. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, that sucks. That dude's going to a funeral. If it's a Friday, you're like, wonder who's getting married.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that doing the area rugs, you know, gives us an avenue to like, oh, that dude did my area rug and I need a suit cleaned. Kind of like builds the brand.
Complimentary.
Yeah, when your business shrinks like dry cleaning has over the years, you need to figure out ways to make it more convenient, which we are the most convenient. 2, you need to pivot a little bit and do other things. Like dry cleaners in the 50s and 60s didn't do rugs because they were so fucking busy doing dry cleaning, you know, that there was a rug guy down the street, you know. So yeah, we're just looking for the next customer and trying to. I was looking today at, I want to make a change on hangers. So I was looking at all wood options and I was looking at plastic options. So I think that if I gave the garments back on a quality hanger, like a real like hanger you would use in your closet instead of we use nice hangers. Our hangers are super nice, but if it was on a wood hanger that was branded and I offset that cost by, you know, you're going to pay 25 cents, but if you send 5 hangers back, you're going to get, you know, $2.50 off your next order. So then like they become currency. Mm-hmm. So if you want to keep them, that's fine. But when you send them back, and they would be like either
like a core charge.
Yeah, correct. So I thought about doing like a wood hanger with like a branded our logo into it with that explanation that this is worth 25 cents at any wash location. And then I could essentially, over the course of, you know, 5 to 10 years, eliminate hanger cost because there would be enough in circulation that they would always be coming back. And like my sticking point on it is like the golf shirts we put on 20-inch grand knits, and they don't make a 20-inch wooden hanger. I mean, not that I can find, but I think that if they came back on a nice wooden hanger, you'd look past the front presentation because you'd be so focused on the hanger, and it would still drape and wear well, you know? There's some looking into that, but they do have a plastic hanger. I think that if you're going to do a core though, a plastic hanger is not where it's at. I think a nice natural wood hanger, and it might not even be 5 years. I'd have to run some more numbers, but I'm thinking, you know, we're buying 1,000 hangers a month. You put 12,000 out in the ether in a year. You know, I might be surprised. It might be 3 years and I never buy a hanger again. That'd be some shit.
What are you spending a month on hangers?
So it gives because we get so many hangers back on recycle now. So it's hard to really like, but if I were to ballpark, I'd say it's about $800 a month on hangers. So, you know, you'd have to bite off a big number. It might be like $3 or $4 grand, but you know, you go back at the end of the year and you save, was it $9,600 a year by not buying hangers. And not only are you not buying hangers, you're presenting a product that is far beyond what anybody expects. Because the first round of those going out, people are going to want to put them in their closet and keep them in their closet. So you might not get as many back at the beginning, but once they got a closet full and all their shit's hanging on wooden hangers, but they also have the brand on it, you know? So if you sell your house or, you know, whatever you do, you go to a wedding and you leave it hanging there. People are like, what the fuck is this hanger? What? Because that's how it used to be in the old days. Dry cleaners used wood hangers.
Really?
Yeah, they were the old school wood hangers with the 2 staples that held the middle together. And they'd be branded. And I mean, things were different back in the day.
What's the difference in cost between a metal hanger and a wooden hanger?
Probably about 50 cents.
So how much is a metal hanger and how much is a wooden hanger?
Our metal hangers are anywhere between 10 and 15 cents now, which is insane to think about.
And you'd be looking at 50
to 65 cents, yeah. Depending on how many, you know, because what I'm looking at now is like the same people that make Macy's wooden hangers and stuff like that. Macy's isn't paying $1.65 a hanger. So like, at what tipping scale do you get into a really discounted rate? But then my head also goes, if I buy a sheet of plywood and I get Graham and Reese the sand hangers all day long, how many hangers could we make in a month? So, and you're gonna have like probably a 10% fail rate where like the hook comes out of the top eventually, you know, and people break them or throw them away. But I do think that with a more substantial product in their hand, they would be less apt to throw it away.
How much heavier is it than the metal hanger?
Not much. I mean, because the ones I'm looking at are real thin. They're not like your old school, full, busted. I mean, but they'd probably be like double, triple the weight. It would be substantial. I didn't even think about that. Gas prices would go up in the van.
Not so much that, but it's going to be harder for, like a big order is going to be harder for your driver to carry.
Yeah, so we put, our computer system is designed to only try to put 5 items in a bag. So at any given point, there'd be 5 items in a bag. So maybe you'd have to make 2 trips. But I think that it just would be, I think it'd be cool, you know? It's just, I resurface this idea like every 4 years, and I'm like, this might be the time I do it. We'll see, TBD, you know? But those are the things you got to do in business.
How many hangers do you think you have in circulation right now?
Right now, over 200,000 hangers. I mean, you figure, do the math, 8 years. We've done over.
How many do you have in your inventory?
So you figure almost everything. Oh, in my inventory, I probably have 1,000 shirt hangers, 1,000 pant hangers, and 3,000 hangers in the building right now.
So you'd have to replace 3,000 hangers to do this.
Yeah. So that's what I think the first run would have to be between 3,000 and 10,000 hangers. But I think the breaking point on price point would be 10,000 hangers. But the other thing that it would eliminate is like we put a shirt on this hanger, we put a suit on this hanger, it would just all be the same hanger. It would just be consistent. Because the problem with the wire hangers is they're real thin. So you got to watch what you put on them because they'll, like sweaters and stuff like that, will dimple out. My thoughts there'd still be a couple different hangers, but for the lion's share of items that went out the door. And I would probably phase it. I would probably do like all the shirts are going on wooden hangers first. So it would be 1,000 to get us through 2 weeks and then see how many come back. But I don't know. It's a thought I had.
Do you sit there and count the hangers that come back?
No. I mostly do it on what I buy. You know, so like, and we'll get to the point where, you know, you don't want to have a ton of hangers sitting in your building, you know. So we'll get to a point where there's just a ton of hangers that came back, and we're like, we got to sort hangers. And we have these wire racks that will just fill up, and they hold about, 500 to 800 hangers on a rack. And there'll be weeks where we go without, like there'll be a week or two where we don't have to buy a hanger because we have so many that were recycled. We used to use like a black painted hanger, and when we switched to galvanized, we got them almost all back. The galvanized hangers were like a big change because I think people mentally thought these are nicer, they're going to want them back. So I really think that the percentage of returned hangers on a wooden hanger, especially when it's worth 25 cents, it's like the Aldi cart theory. You ever go to Aldi and see carts in the parking lot?
Right. You want your penny back or your quarter back.
Yeah. Dude, and then like someone's in line behind you and you feel like a chooch and I'm like, put your own quarter in, fucker. I only do that if I had to walk back to my car to get a quarter. Because like if I didn't have a quarter and I walk up and there's a cart and there's a quarter in it, then I just leave it there. But if like I get there and there's no quarters and I got to walk back to my car to get a quarter, then I'm fucking taking the quarter with me. If I brought it to the party, I'm taking it with me.
Cheap fuck.
I'm getting cheaper as I get older, dude. It's bad. Like, what's in that $6 biggie bag? So, all right, bud. It's another week in the books.
Another week in the books.
All right, love you, bud.
Love you, bud.
Thank you for listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. Find and follow us on your preferred podcast streaming platform. Join us socially on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. Visit our website for links to all the businesses we've showcased, additional content, and merch. If you or someone you know would like to be on the show, email us at info@betweentwobridgespodcast.com. Till next time, make it till you rake it.
Oh, you guys are fucked.